99X. It's the Morning X. Barnes and Leslie. Been looking at the best of 23 all week. We had Organic Matt on. We had Jill, who's back 7 to midnight. And Will. Have we forgotten anyone, Fram?
Hello, the Steve Show.
Oh, the boss.
Come on.
Don't say that. Leslie is always the boss.
No.
Leslie. Please welcome Steve from The Steve Show, starring Steve. Today on the Morning X, a guest appearance by Steve.
Yes.
What's happening?
Good morning.
Just kind of hunkering down and getting things done before the holidays and making sure that we're all on target. We're playing a lot of Christmas stuff. It's kind of cool.
Is the tiki bar fired up for the holidays?
Absolutely. All the tiki mugs have their little Santa hats on.
Now, I know over the weekend, I know you were in Vegas, and I came back and I hyped big time U2 at Sphere. Did it live up to the hype?
Absolutely, and then some, and then some.
Isn't it crazy?
All the videos that you see on social media, it does not describe. You cannot get the feel for the live experience.
Unbelievable.
It is overwhelming. And even going in, just the whole experience as you walk in, they set the tone perfectly inside the Sphere. It's like Space Mountain at Disney.
It's great.
Before you get in.
I know. I'm so excited for our listener who won the grand prize. I want to hear his review. He's never seen U2 and never been to Vegas, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we got to talk to him after he gets back.
And I have some great tips for him as well. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so let's get into your best of 2023. Everyone's kind of sharing their best pop culture moment, best album, best song, and I'm sure if anyone has an opinion, Steve does. I know that.
I can't wait to hear yours.
Let's start with the album of the year.
I think the album of the year has to be Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters, But Here We Are. I mean, you can't go wrong with Dave Grohl. He is the single-handedly keeping rock and roll alive. He knows how to craft a pop song. He really knows how to do an amazing job. A close second would be the Marvelous 3 album. And
Really?
I'm so glad you said that because love that album.
Speaking of people who know how to craft a song, I mean every single song on that album is just it's just
Hooky, catchy,
golden. I mean, everything.
When you mention that, I mean think about Grohl, who comes out of Nirvana, gets his own band, and had what a great way to get really submerged in the business, having success, and then you have that freedom to be creative. But it's like once the people that figure it out, and they do it over and over and over. And you're right, that is one of the best of the year.
Totally agree.
I really think a lot of the work on the album, a lot of the songs, a lot of the songwriting was, I think, due to the loss of Taylor Hawkins. It created a positive energy even in his loss, and it really translated into the sessions, and it really brought the band together. And they put out some amazing tracks.
Great choice, Steve.
Yeah. Also, there's a band called Slow Dive, which I really like.
Oh, yeah.
And their album calls Everything Is Alive. Jill's been playing it on Planet Jill. I think Matt Jones has touched on it a little bit. I was always kind of a shoegaze kind of fan. Loved the band The Church and a few others like that. And they just do a great job. Very lilting harmonies between the two lead singers. It's just a really cool album. It's a good chill album for me. I would say my song of the year, it's an older song, but a lot of people are discovering it this year. There seems to be a little bit of an Australian type of invasion going on. There's a little punk band called The Chats, which I've just loved for the last couple of years. There's a song called Pub Feed. You can find it on YouTube. It's absolutely hilarious. These guys are fun. They've been in town a couple of times in concert. They're great at small venues. Hopefully they can get to like some bigger ones soon. A song called Smoko also, which is really good. So The Chats, that's my up and coming pick.
Love it. Discovery.
Love
What
that.
about pop culture moment? What about for you, pop culture moment of the year?
Big one, 99X. Gotta be.
Now, that was a trick question, by the way.
Hands down.
I was going to see if
Wait, he could have said like Sphere with U2. He could have said that.
That is there too. That would come under concerts, but just being able to have everything, having the stars align, and really it goes back to Barnes and I when we were having some tacos a couple of years ago. It goes back even further than that when our late great friend and mentor Sean Demery was with us about 6-7 years ago. We were talking about, how would it be to bring 99X back? How would we do it? How would it sound? And there was a lot of inspiration coming from Sean. Barnes, you and I talked a little bit about, hey, could we make this work? I mean, would Leslie be on board? Where's Will? What would we do? And I was pretty embedded where I was at the time, but things happen, and all of a sudden everything kind of came together, and boom, here we are with the original crew, and with Jill coming back now, and there's a couple other surprises too that are happening next year.
Seemed impossible at the time.
I have a question for both of you about that.
Seriously.
I was talking to Will in studio because, we're both working on a very large Netflix series. I don't know if you guys have seen yet the trailers and teasers that have been
I have. You haven't told me much about it, but I have seen some teasers.
Is this the DAM?
Yeah, DAM. Just, Google it.
Yeah.
It takes place in the 99X studio, no less. Anyway, we were talking about how, do you have those moments when you're just sitting there, maybe doing something routine with your show or at the station, and then you just step back and go, holy I can't even believe I'm standing here doing this. It feels like it's 1998.
I just feel like so privileged that this is happening. Now, I'm not kidding you, because arguably the best time in my career, and coming back, it's full circle.
Every single day. And the shows we've been going to, the events we've been getting out to and meeting the listeners, it's just so amazing how people will jump out of line. They'll see you and they'll rush toward you and just thank you for bringing this back. You brought back a part of my life that has been missing for so long. And then of course, when you're doing it, you don't realize what you're doing at the time. We had no idea what we were doing. Or that it would be this impactful. And then to have these people, our listeners, and come up and just profusely thank us and give us all these great stories about how they found us, what happened to them, or what they were doing when they heard certain songs, or when we told certain stories back in the day. And even the people who come up to us and see, if we have a setup and, we're wearing our T-shirts and whatever, they go, hey, 99X, I remember you guys.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Like, we're back. And they go, really?
I know.
And they listen.
It's funny that you say we didn't know what we were doing, because right now we don't know what we're doing either. So there you go. Barnes and I have zero idea what we're doing.
Well, 99X was not built on fear. It was built on doing what we all felt was right. And that's, I believe, what made it a success the first time. We're talking to Steve. The Steve Show, of course, coming up 10 o'clock over most of these 99X stations here on this frequency. And let's end with TV show and movie of the year.
TV show, we did a lot of binging while I was off, kind of waiting out the whole contract thing. So I'd never seen all the Breaking Bad shows. So
the best ever.
We binged all the way through everything, saw the movies, and then we jumped over to Ted Lasso, which I think was awesome. The best. So that was our TV thing. And then I would go down to the Tiki Bar, and Bad Barbie, who's my counterpart, she would end up watching The Crown or Downton Abbey. It's like, okay, you go do that. I'm going to go down to the Tiki Bar.
But isn't that funny how now in 2023, your best of is relevant to whatever you watched that year, and it's no longer like in the cycle with everyone watching the same thing because of the time shifting.
It's completely different. Movies, though, Oppenheimer, I think the best movie of the year. That was just a phenomenal film. Guardians 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Matt Jones, when I heard his list a few days ago, I mean, we're the same kind of boat there. That's one of the greatest Marvel franchises, I think, is Guardians, and that was one of my favorite ones.
Well, you're echoing Matt Goldberg from yesterday from the Atlanta Film Critics Circle, who those two are on their top 3 for the year.
And that was their number 1, wasn't it? Oppenheimer.
Yep. Oh yeah, phenomenal film. And the only other one that I'll say I liked it was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I'm a big
and that is on all the worst lists.
I know that's Steve.
It was fun. It was just fun.
Steve is Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Now, on to concerts, though. U2 at the Sphere, that is the greatest concert experience that anyone can see. And you got about a month left to it. So, I mean, that's another conversation. It's so spectacular. And then right after that, Morrissey at the Fox. Morrissey brought it like I've never seen it before. And he did a full show. He was happy, interactive, he did all the hits. It was just an amazing show in an amazing setting.
Good stuff.
And Depeche Mode, close third. The big show, Depeche Mode.
You and Will and all your depressing stuff. You guys are right there together. The somber brothers.
Yeah.
All right, there's your best of 2023 with Steve. Don't forget the Steve Show coming up today at 10. And what do you have 1:45 to give away, Steve?
Death Cab for Cutie tickets and Postal Service comboing up. So,
ooh, great combo.
Steve's on 10 to 3 today. Right now, you are listening to the original 99X.